Okay, we are going to be talking about section 5.2. Now, this is a second method to solving a linear system. Now, this has specific setups and a set of steps. Now, some people find this really easy to do. The only difference is when you have fractions or decimals, it can be a little interesting, but we'll help you work through that because remember, first step, get rid of the fractions and the decimals. Now, I'm going to explain how I do systems of equations. It's a little bit different than your book as far as explanations, but it's worked, and this is how I've learned it. Now, the method of substitution, as I just said, is a second method. And this is the process. Now, this is something you may not be used to. We have two equations, and we are going to have to select or find what we call a home equation, because the process of substitution starts with the home, you go to another equation, and then you come back to the home. So it's like you make a circle process. Now, the home equation is going to have either x or y. Does it matter which variable? No. On one side of the equation, and this is the crucial part, on one side. So if they don't, we're going to put it on one side. Then, in the other equation of the system, we're going to place a parentheses for the isolated variable, and then place the home expression inside the parentheses. Pretty straightforward. And then we're going to solve, because we're only going to have one variable, by the method of substitution. And then, this is the catch, we are going to return home to find the missing variable, because there's two variables here. And then, this is up to you. You want to check both variables or values in the other equation. And then you write your answer as an ordered pair. Now, some of you may like this, some of you may not. Sometimes it's always easier for me to show you than it is to give you these 5 steps. But the steps work when you're just learning and you don't know how to do it. Let's begin. Okay, do you notice that this letter Y is all by itself? Which means this is going to be my home equation. That's my home. Well, now I'm going to take the second equation. And you see where this y is? I am going to rewrite that equation. But where that y is behind the 5, I'm going to put a parentheses. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to now take this 4x minus 1 and I'm going to put it right here. I have just substituted. And if you'll notice, this equation only has x's. So life's nice. This will give me 6x minus 20 plus 5 is equal to negative 2. 6x minus 15 is going to give me a negative 2. Now, let's see. I want to make sure I wrote it right. Yep. And this will give me a, get me. There's my 20x. I knew I was missing something here. Thank you. This is 20x minus 5. That looks better. And that's a plus 5. Okay. Well, this is going to give me a negative 14x plus 5 is equal to negative 2. Well, when I subtract negative 5, I'm going to get a negative 14x is equal to negative 7. I'm dividing by negative 14, and I have an x value of positive 1/2. Well, remember, we now have to return home because we have got to find the y value, which means I write y is equal to 4. Now this time I'm going to put a parentheses minus 1. And inside that parentheses, I'm putting 1/2. Well, this will give me y is equal to 2 minus 1, or y is 1. Okay. Now, this is your choice. This is my other equation. Where the x is, I'm going to put 1/2. Where the y is, I'm putting 1. And it better equal negative 2. Well, this is 3 minus 5 equals negative 2. It checks. Now remember, x comes before y, and this is my answer. 1/2 1. This is how substitution is done. Okay. Well, let's try this one. Okay, this one little different. Now, you're going to notice that this x is not really by itself. It's got a plus 3. But can we make it so that x is by itself? The answer is yes. If I write x equals negative 3y plus 5, this equation is now my home. I had to make and alter the first equation. I don't want to go back to it. I now have my home. Well, now notice I've solved for x. Well, this variable behind negative 2 is going to get a parentheses. Well, inside that parentheses, what is now here is going in here, which is negative 3y plus 5. And notice my hot pink equation only has y's. Well, this will give me 6y minus 10 plus 5y is equal to 23. Well, 6y and 5y are 6y and 5y are going to give me 11y. But if I add 10, to both sides. Notice I add 10 here, and I add 10 here. I'm going to get 33. A lot better than the first problem. And I'm going to divide by 11. I have a y value of 3. Well, you need to return to your home, okay? The home equation, because now we need to find x. And this will give me a negative 3 times 3 plus 5. Well, x is a negative 9 plus 5 is going to give me a negative 4. Well, again, this is your choice. We're going to check it. Negative 2 times negative 4 plus 5 times 3 had better give me 23. 8 plus 15 gives me 23, which means my answer is negative 4, 3. It's x, comma, y. This is my answer for the solution. Well, we got one more to do right here. And as you can gather, this has got some lovely stuff. It's got fractions. Now, when fractions appear, we're going to get rid of them because we can't choose a home row till we get rid of them. Well, the first equation, I have a 12, a 4, a 2. Well, that means the LCD for this first equation is 12, which is going to give me x plus, because these 12s are going to cancel out, plus 3y. Now be careful. This 2 and this 12 cancel to give me 18. Well, if I look at the bottom row, I have a 5 and a 2, which means my LCD is 10. Now, I'm going to cross cancel. This 5 is going to give me 4x minus 5y is equal to negative 30. The LCD must multiply by each one. Now, I don't want to look at these unless I made a mistake, but I can always go back and take a look. And I can do that by going through the substitution process. Now, this black equation, I have an x. Can I get it by itself? Yes, I can. This will be x is equal to negative 3y plus 18. I don't want to look at that equation because now, see where this x is? I have 4 parentheses minus 5y is equal to negative 30. Well, what am I going to put inside that parentheses? Right here. That goes right here, which is a negative 3y plus 18. Well, this is going to give me a negative 12y plus 72 minus 5y is equal to negative 30. Okay, I have a negative 17y, it's these two together, is equal to a negative 102. Well, if I divide by -17, y is going to give me 6. But remember, I'm not finished yet. I've got to come back to my home equation. Let's go to the next slide and finish. This is going to give me x is equal to negative. I'm putting in the 6 plus 18. Well, x is going to give me 0. And if I check it out, now I can use this equation that no longer had fractions. Well, remember, this is 4 times 0 minus 5 times 6. Negative 30 equals negative 30. X, Y. This is my answer. Very simple. Okay. But there's a couple of special cases that I want to do with you just to make sure you understand. Okay, right here. This y is not by itself, but I can get it by itself, which means y is equal to negative 2x minus 3. This is my home equation. Well, where this little y is, this is going to sit inside a parentheses, which is 6x plus 3 parentheses equals 0. I have a negative 2x minus 3. 6x minus 6x minus 9 is equal to 0. Now, notice what happens. These two are going to cancel out. What I have left is this part of my equation. Negative 9 does not equal 0. This is considered a no solution, or the circle with the line under it. If you end up with this, a number, negative 9, equal to another number that's totally different, there's no answer to the solution. It's a no solution. Okay. Now, our last slide in this case. And the beautiful part is, I already have an x by itself. This is considered my home equation, which means where this x is, I'm going to be doing a little substitution, because now I am going to put this part of my equation right here, which is 12 minus 2y. Now notice what we get. 24 minus 4y plus 4y equals 24. Look at here. Positive and negative, they cancel out. But this time, I have the same number on both sides? Which means that I have an infinite number of solutions. Now, this is going to be the set of x comma y here. Now, they are going to have in this type of a problem what we call standard form. It's just the change because we're dealing with a system, and this system is done by substitution, not by graphing, by substitution, which means that this is going to be ax plus by equals c. It's just to give an indication of how you are solving this. We did substitution, so this will be x plus 2y equals 12. So if I see in parentheses the answer x comma y such that, and this equation is written in standard form, I know you solved it by substitution. Now, if you write the slope-intercept form, which we did in graphing, I'll take it, but I'm not sure that Alex will take it. But give it your best shot. And we will then, in this case, I'm waiting for my slide. There we go. Okay, so we're coming to an end. Have a great day.